Hi, in this video we are going to see how to execute DDL and also how to execute scripts in MuleSoft. So mainly we are going to deal with the database module. So in order to do that, I'll just go and quickly create a new Mule project and I'll just call this as a database demo and I'll just have this as a today's date and then I'll just click finish. So mainly what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trigger my flow through HTTP listener so that I can receive the request, and then I'm going to add a database module to my project. So I'll just drag and drop database module and then we are going to call this execute DDL. Okay, so basically the DDL using which you can execute some query, which is a special type of query where you can create some table and you can do some special query using this option. Because if you look at our Mule palette, you have a specific template for specific operation. For example, select you have something, update you have something, insert, delete, bulk insert, bulk delete, all those stuff. But again, if you wanted to create a table, then how do we do it? Here there is nothing like that. You wanted to create a store procedure, how do you do that? So you can't do through any specific operation. So for that you have to do with this execute DDL. Enables execution of DDL queries against a database, because the creating a table or creating a store procedure comes under DDL. So now I'll just go to listener configuration for HTTP, where I'll configure default HTTP configuration. I'll leave it with 8081 port and I'll just call this as this particular flow as I'm just going to call DDL. So I'll just say DDL. So after giving DDL, we are going to execute some query. So before that we need to configure the database connection. So in this example I'm going to use some Oracle connection where I have to give some driver in order to talk to Oracle database. I already downloaded the jar file from internet with respect to Oracle. So I have something called jdbc8.jar and then I'll just click open and then I'll click OK, so that this warning symbol will change to green tick mark, and then I'm going to give my database server details. I have my database in my local machine which is there in localhost 1521, and then I have a username called c demo user and then password, and instance I have a Oracle database and I'll do a test connection. I'll be able to connect to the database, and after that I'll configure the required DDL query there. So once we see test successful, then we will proceed further. So it's trying to establish the connectivity to the database. For in my case, the database is running in my local machine, so it will try to connect there. But in your case, if you wanted to give the actual database server name, you can give that. So see here, test connection is successful. I'll just give OK and I'll click OK here. So now whatever database we need to configure in order to connect to the database, that configuration is complete. So now I wanted to create some table, and in order to do that I just prepared this query. This query is related to SQL syntax only, so there is nothing different. The same SQL query template, same SQL query syntax you can follow. So I'm just going to create a table with the table name student. There I'm going to have a 4 fields: student ID, last name and first name and class. And this is the query I just wanted to execute through this DDL option. So DDL option is mainly to execute the special query, which whatever you don't have it here, right? So if you wanted to create a table structure or any kind of store procedure, then you can do it with this SQL DDL option. And I'll add one transform message here so that we know we can set some static response after the execute XCL. After execute DDL, I wanted to print some static response in a JSON format, which I'll give it in the transform message. I'll set one field like message and I'll say created successfully. So this is what I wanted to print it in the HTTP response. So I have done all the configuration for our flow, and I'll just name this particular flow as execute DDL demo or DDL flow, so that we know this flow is related to DDL. And also here I'm using a endpoint as DDL, so I'll just copy this one and I'll put it here as well, so that I know by looking at it what is the resource endpoint. And if you wanted to give method also, you can give. So this is just a label, so I'll just give post method. And also I'm just going to change this advanced, and then I'm just going to give only post method, because we are going to create the table. So I wanted to have a meaningful HTTP method name, so I gave it as a post. I'll save this one. Now I'm going to run this project so that this application will start in our Mule runtime, which is coming as part of this embedded Anypoint Studio. So now by the time the application is come up, I'll just go to the Postman. I'll change the method to post, and I'll give the URL as 8081. So this is the port our application is going to run, and I gave like my endpoint as DDL. Okay. So now what we are going to do, so we don't need to pass any request parameter, because what we are doing as part of this exercise, we are receiving a request and we have given an entire query in this configuration itself, and then we are setting that response back. So once the application is deployed, we can run it from the Postman. See here, it's initializing the step now. So at the end, we will be able to see some status called deployed. See here, it's deployed. In your case, if it is something coming like a fail, then there is some syntax error or whatever the configuration error which we need to correct it. So now it's deployed. I'm going to run it from my Postman. So the expectation is it should create a table called student. Okay, so see here, student table. Before running it, I'll just go and show my database. I'll search, is there any table called student is there or not. See here, table or view does not exist is coming in my SQL Plus, which is connected to my Oracle database. So now I'm just going to run it from my Postman, which is in turn going to call Mule application, and then see here, that's a response we set in a transfer message. So when you reach this particular step, which means your execute DDL executed successfully. Otherwise we might have got some failure error, right? So here it's successful response, and also you have some 200 OK status as well. So this way we can understand this has been created successfully. So I'll just go to the table. See here, earlier before running from Postman, I got the table is not exist. Table does not exist. I'm going to run the query again. See here, no rows selected, which means there is a table already, but only thing is there is no record in the table, which means the table has been created successfully. So now what I'll do, the table has been created successfully, which means this execute DDL is working as expected. So now we are going to do one more demo as part of this exercise. So what we are going to do is, I have something called execute script. So what is this is, for example, you wanted to execute list of script. Through this option you can do it. For example, select, you can do a select, update, you can do update, insert is for specific operation, right? For example, I have a script which I wanted to execute it. Even if you have a multiple entries, you can do it via this execute script option. So in order to do that, I'll just go and drag and drop new HTTP listener to create a new flow. So this flow, I'll just name this as a execute scripts flow. Execute script flow. See here, that flow name is done, and I'm going to set my HTTP listener. So I'm going to reuse the same HTTP listener which is having 8081 port, and this one I'll just have the different endpoint. Okay, I'll say execute script, and I'll just copy this one and I'll put it into this display as well. And this is a post method, so I'll just give post method, and advanced also I'll say this is a post method, so that we know what is this flow. If you have multiple flow, you will be able to understand what is this flow and what is the resource endpoint. So now I'll just go to the database module where I'm going to drag and drop this execute script. So this, which will accept multiple queries in the same SQL query text. So as we have already configured the database, so you can select it from here, which will use the same database. The query, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to copy some query. I have 4 queries for that particular table, student, and this particular table has 4 fields: student, ID, last name, first name, and there is a class also. So I'll just update my insert query. So here I just filled only 3 values, which is ID, last name, first name, and I'll just fill some class details also. So this is a class 1, and similarly I'll just fill some more records. The last record alone I'll just give class 2. So this is my student insert query, which is I have written a 4 different query, and if you look at this one, each query I have tokenized or I have added with some semicolon. Last one I haven't added because just it's a separator for each line. I have copied that one and I'm going to paste it here. So which is mainly for executing a script. I'm going to execute multiple scripts in the same configuration. So now I'll just add a transform message just to give some message back to HTTP response, which I wanted to return as a JSON response, and I'll say message colon and I'll say script executed successfully. So I have done all the required stuff now. I save everything and this project is already running. So whatever the changes we have done, it will get redeployed now or reinitialize it now. So once the app is reinitialized, see here it started the app now. What I'm going to do, so earlier what I did is I was invoking DDL, right? So now I'm going to invoke a different one. I'll just remove this one and I know from this one it's a execute script. I'll just give execute script and then I'll try to run it. I don't need any input because we are receiving a request and we are executing the script which is configured in our this SQL query text itself. So when we run, it's supposed to insert 4 records to the student table. So now I'll just go and see student table here, right? So student table is empty in our database. So now once we run this one, right, it's supposed to create 4 records. See here, it's saying column not allowed here, and it's throwing an error. And also you see here, it's giving 500 server error, which means our application is failing. That's why it's not reaching this transform message stuff. So when it is reaching only, it will come to this particular step. So there's a typo error which I'll fix also now. Yeah. Now the main error, it will be there in this execute script. So what it's saying, I have given, see here, there is some syntax error here. After RAM there is a single quote and single quote, right? And I think when I copy somehow, okay, so I'll just correct it in Notepad first, because earlier when I gave, right, everywhere I gave single quote. The last column when I add, I gave double quote. So I'll just remove that and I'll just correct that syntax error. So basically we are going to give 4 columns in each query. Basically we are inserting all these values into one record. So each one will go as a one record. So now I almost corrected all the records. So I'm just going to copy now. So I'm going to copy because earlier I gave something wrong. That's why we are getting 500 error. So I'll save this one. So now the syntax looks correct and I'll just go and see the console. The project is getting reinitialized. So once it's the updated artifact is deployed, so now it's deployed, I'm going to run it again. So earlier there was an error. So now when we run it, it should not throw any error. See here, the server not available to handle this request. So still our project is coming up. So that's why it's saying it's not initialized yet. I'll try to run it. So maybe it's up now. See here, the script executed successfully, which means whatever the script we have given, it is executed successfully, and also it gave the 200 OK status, which means our MuleFlow has been executed successfully. I'll just go to the table. Earlier it was empty. Now when I run it, I am supposed to have 4 records. See here, there are 4 records. I give this Ram Raja class 1, Palani Ram class 1, I gave John Joseph class 1, and also I gave this Mary Delicia class 2. So whatever the record we have inserted, it's appearing in our table now. So this way you can use execute script to execute any script. So in this sample we have executed insert. Similarly, if you want to execute any other script like update, you can do that as well. So other way, I'm giving a script here. Instead of giving here, if you wanted to update, you wanted to refer it in some path, that is also possible. So for example, I'll just remove it from here. I'll put it in my notepad again, and then I'll just change this value alone for our exercise. I'll just change this 5, 6, 7, 8, and this, there are some value. I'll update it here. Okay, so I just change this 5678 and some value also I'll give change here. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this one. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, instead of placing it here, we are going to refer it from the path, script path. So whatever the script you wanted to execute it, you can keep it in any folder. So I'll just go to this resources folder, and you can create a subfolder or you can create a file directly. So I'll just create a file directly. I'll just name like myscript.sql, and I'll just click finish, and I'll just yeah, so it is opening in a new text editor. So you can choose any editor also. I have choose by default this is the editor I have. So I just copied the script and then I'll close it. So mainly it is having 5678 and it is having another 4 record. So now we have to refer the script name here as it is under the main resources. So you can directly refer it here, myscript.sql. For example, under the main resources, if you have a folder, then you have to give a folder / myscript.sql. So now instead of giving the query directly or script directly, what we are doing is we are giving a script here, and that particular script has all our queries. So all these 4 records is there in that particular SQL script. So now what I'll do, I'll just run it again. So there was a error appearing, so I'll just stop this one and I'll start it again, because when I save it there was a error, it's coming. So better I stopped it now, and I'm just going to run it again. So we are going to invoke the same execute script only from here, but only difference is in the Anypoint Studio, instead of having everything directly, we put all the scripts now in the separate file and we are referring that file. So this way you don't need to touch the code if you wanted to update any script. So you can go and update the file so that the Mule application can call that particular file. So now it's getting deployed. So once it's deployed, I'm going to run it. Still the behavior will be, it will be executing the script. See here, it's deployed. I'm going to run it from here, which is going to execute the script. And if it is able to invoke successfully, see here, the script executed successfully, which means it received the request here and it went here and it printed that message also. Let's go and see the SQL. Earlier there were only 4 records. Now I'm just running again. See here, there are 8 records. So whatever I added with 7, 6, 8, that student ID, right? So that got updated, and the name, whatever I changed, that got updated. So this way you can keep the script separately, and that script you can refer it in your execute script as well. So either you can put it in a file and refer it here, or you put the data here which can execute it as well. So this is execute script, whatever we have seen in the latest. And before this demo, we also saw how to execute the DDL in order to create the table structure. Thank you.